Won't you tell me your name? No. Hello, I love you. Won't you tell me your name? Sorry, I got the lyrics a little wrong. To that classic Doors number. Regardless, welcome to a live stream I think we're all going to cherish and enjoy for a long, long time. A live stream titled Making the Marty Vid Stream for Skibidi Bombaclats. So if you're here, that means you're acknowledging that you are, in fact, a Skibidi Bombaclat. You're acknowledging you are. All right, my Skibidi Bombaclats. So I'm not going to get started immediately on my job at hand, but I do have a job at hand here, which is I plan to read these emails aloud. I think there's 4 of them I want to read out loud. Maybe a line or 2 from another email she sent to me. But so the point is, I'm making progress on this thing. I've gotten all the emails. I've downloaded his video, which I'm going to need to make this case in full. But I'm procrastinating about by regarding the reading. I need to film myself reading the emails, and I'll use some portions of that read aloud along with the text beside it in an edited video. But I think before I do that, I'm gonna wait a little while for maybe some personages, aka peoples, aka viewers, aka chatters, aka personages, aka peoples, to arrive to make it a little bit more interesting for me. King Wolf Gaming is here. What in the actual burning hell is the title of this, host Eric? It is making the Marty vid stream for Skibidi Bombaclats. It's because of the extreme amount of Riz that I have. So, when these Skibidi Bombaclats see my Riz, they be all like, yeah. That's my point. It's one of my messages today in this live stream. Health tubes are very important, yes. Otherwise, maybe your tubes aren't very healthy. You might have unhealthy tubes. So we'll read this email stuff here in a little bit, which I kind of want to wait for like Hero Lamb, especially to arrive if he's going to, because he was kind of providing the most pushback. So, I'd like him to be able to hear them evaluate him himself. Oh, right. It's actually J I'm looking for. Here we go. I don't know if it's going to open like that or not. All right. Okay, Microsoft, will you stop already with your nonsense? So we will look at that and read that out loud in a little bit. Okay. Say, Jesus Christ is Lord. Jesus Christ is Lord. Lord, 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 Lord. I don't know who Kai Cenat is. Or, yeah, assuming it's a person, you know, could be like, I don't know, a flavor of incense or something. You'll excuse me while I have a cup of hot tea. So, for those who haven't heard, for those who might be here for this purpose, I should let you know if he's related to. I don't know who it is, actually. I was thinking, there's another guy who's got a weird name, like Jink or something. Who is just absolutely insanely terrible, but I don't remember what his name is. Regardless, if you're here for new information or whatever regarding the Marty vid and the contents thereof, well, you will get it in a little bit. Because I'm using this stream as a way to get my get myself to read them out loud, have myself recorded on the live stream, then I can just download the live stream video and edit from that. And that should be a good way to do it. Then, like I said, I'll have the text up next to it. And that's really the big piece of work that I have to do. The rest of it should be fairly straightforward. I just need to, I guess, clip a little bit of his video and make a clear enough case. But I'll probably like quote more of his video than I'll clip because I don't want to get copyrighted, which I'm sure he will do, you know. I might have to make a couple little like caveat disclaimer things that I add in someplace. So once I get these things read, then I'm not that far from actually having the thing done. I need to get it done because I keep thinking about it. It's interfering with my ability to pay attention to media I'm trying to watch. Other things that I might want to play around and do, I need to do it. At the same time, I'm glad I haven't rushed the process, you know. I feel quite prepared in terms of having everything I need. Oh, I forgot. I forgot to hide my health tubes. I'm supposed to hide those. All right, let's get started. We're going to read one of them. I'm super glad, Acacia, that you have had the opportunity to enjoy Taste the Biscuit. If anybody else here has not yet had the opportunity to enjoy Taste the Biscuit, may I recommend watching at least some of it. I don't know if you need to watch the whole 305 worth of it, but here you go. Here it is for you. Taste the biscuit. All right. We're going to shift gears abruptly to provide needed additional information regarding this whole Marty Glenn / Caroline matter. All right, so I will pull up your first email, okay? Oh, you have your own Chappy Tracks? You spell it like that, though, huh? Wow. That's good that you have your own unique spelling of it, so that people don't get it confused with the Chappy Tracks. Okay. So, I'll give you the dates as well, I guess, that these emails came and were sent. On Wednesday, January 31st, 2024, Caroline sent the following email. Hello, Marty. My name is Caroline. I have commented on a few of your YouTube videos, most recently the one about smartphones and women. I have questioned if sending this email is the right thing to do or not, but here I am. I am telling you, I can't make this up. Monday night, I was asking myself why I was interested in your videos. I had sought out validation of my experience. In the past, I have read posts on Quora and other places talking about the INFJ, and had actually come to the conclusion I am not one because the way the majority of people claiming these letters talk about themselves and what they are like is drastically different than myself. So I'm throwing my hands in the air and saying I don't care anymore, this is stupid. Then I came across your YouTube channel and I decided to watch a video. Watching and listening to you felt like I was watching a version of myself regardless of the letters attached. Boom, validation. Then I end up commenting and not only did you actually respond, you penned it. I didn't even know there was such a thing, by the way. Validation. Here's the thing. My marriage of almost 8 years has been crumbling for the past year and a half. It is literally on the last thread of existence, and I have done everything I can think of to try to salvage it. So when I felt that validation from you, a stranger on the internet, I really felt shitty. I hadn't done anything wrong. It was the fact that I had had an emotional reaction that felt wrong. Forward to yesterday morning. I'm thinking I probably need to stop watching your videos and most of YouTube in general because of how I'm reacting and that I am seeking whatever it is from anywhere other than myself. Anyway, I pull up YouTube to look for something else, and of course your video pops up. I was really interested in what you were going to say, so I click on it. I love watching you and listening to you because, again, you just make sense to me. Then, on top of everything else, you drop the bomb with this mystical unicorn woman, and if you didn't describe me, I don't know who you described, and there it is, major validation. My point of all this is, I meant what I said, that not all women need this type of validation. I'm probably taking it to the extreme, but I know the feelings that popped up for me are probably not much different than a girl looking for hearts on Instagram. And unfortunately, for that very reason, I need to stop watching and commenting on your videos. I would have just silently left the room, but then you'd never get to share in the irony. More importantly, I would not have demonstrated to you my truth, which I believe stands in stark contrast to what you have seen. Out of respect for myself and my demand for integrity in my months, I think she means like in the coming months. I'm sorry, and my demand for integrity in my actions, out of respect for my husband, even though we will likely be divorced in the next few months, he still deserves my respect. Last, out of respect for you. Unicorns still exist. Unicorns exist, Marty. Caroline. That's the first email of this succession of emails. It's her fangirling on Marty. Her fangirling on Marty. So that's what it is, right? She says on 2 different occasions that she found it validating, that she doesn't want to take it too far out of respect for her husband and for Marty, and demand some integrity from herself in terms of her actions. And then he responds with, Caroline, in over 5 years and 500 videos and 25,000 plus comments, you have done something special or different. I have reached out to try and honor up, but without a response. I will close the issue on my side unless I hear from you either in the comments, email, or my cell. Well done. It is not easy to stand out. You should be proud of yourself, Marty. So she said she wants to stop communicating with him. He says, I reached out to try and honor up your comment or whatever, but without a response. I will close the issue on my side unless I hear from you in either the comments, my email, or my cell. Well done. Not easy to stand out. You should be proud of yourself. Really, Marty, she should be proud of herself, and you're really such a great guy. Caroline responds, to answer your question, of course I want to talk to you, but I have to question my motives and character, and respectfully, what in the world do you want with the woman you described? This is in a different video, okay? What is it about that woman that makes you say yes the way you did? Full disclosure, I'm not claiming to be a 10 who thinks she's a 0. I'm 34 and at the stage of tired of feeling like a 0 but can't get out of it. You nailed the timeline, which absolutely fascinates me. I've known since childhood the 40s are going to be great. I could write a novel on that topic for you right now, but I'll spare you. And then Marty responds with this. I gave you my number. Do what you want to that makes you happy, but I am not going to convince myself that I need to chase you. Yes, the way I did? You mean with the other girl? You will never have all the answers. And using dominant NI and dominant FE at the levels I do, you see what happens. You're seeing it firsthand. Let me help you with something you self-admittedly have exposed to me. Please read the first sentence in this email again and understand that your self-esteem is hurting. You are at 0 when something you said made me give you my number, and now you are trashing that effort because you are having a 0 moment or much further along than I am in this exchange. Just saying. I don't know where you live, what you look like, ... in parentheses, in brackets. You know all. I'm not sure what fuckery you are doing to yourself and thus ruining a pretty special moment by my standards, no matter what the result is. Have you already fucked me and I'm not aware of it? Shit. Please next time tell me when it's happening so I can enjoy it too. Okay, so it seems very clear to me what he's doing there is he's playing these various hard sales tactics. Then she also had exchanges with him via text, which included him saying, send me a picture of your tits. You have 5 minutes. This is a test. And she says, and that the idea was, he asked her, do you want me to save your marriage or end it? And she said, save it, I guess. And you could leave Angel Albano probably is fine, I guess. Oh no, send me your phone number stuff. First of all, my phone number's in the video, everything. So the thing to note here is there were additional text messages that are as indicated. I would probably be well served to read aloud another couple of things from her emails to me. Okay, so in response to the person who asked about fact checking, this is from Caroline. I forwarded the original emails. I didn't send screenshots. Well, at first I sent one, but then figured, F it, I'll just send them all, even though honestly I'm embarrassed by what I said. I'm embarrassed by my ignorance and vulnerability, but for the sake of the truth, I give you permission to read them if you so choose. I also give you permission to read this one. I'm willing to invite my own persecution in order to expose the truth. Is that not the double-edged sword? The acceptance that the truth will cut me as much as Marty Glenn. Everyone, including myself, keeps asking why. Why would a woman who's never even noticed another man suddenly stoop to this level within hours? It's simple. Marty Glenn needs to be stopped. And I also want to read this part of it. I guess all roads led to here because I put myself in a position where I had a choice to make. I could have chosen to pretend it never happened, not to tell my husband, not tell you, etc. After all, Marty didn't say my name in that video he made. And when he didn't say my name, he thought he pressed his foot against my throat. What Marty didn't account for is that I would not allow that. He didn't understand that he couldn't take something from me that I never had, innocence, self-worth. More importantly, he didn't understand that the only thing I ever had is the truth, and I will never let anyone take that from me. So I think that's worth reading as well. And there may be one additional one that I want to read. Okay. I apologize, this will be fragmented, but I'll do what I can. When he first told me to send a picture, he said to make a certain sign with my hand. I sent him a clothes picture holding a post-it note that read, Marty, don't tell me what to do with my fingers. I realized how provocative that is. My first thought was to flip him off. My second thought was not even to respond. He responded by calling me and saying, come on, Caroline, you didn't think that was going to be enough, did you? This is about trust. Now quit fucking around and send me the picture. Welcome to my world. This is life or death. You have 5 minutes. Don't fuck this up. This is somebody who clearly used like a love bombing approach and then manipulation approach. But the thing is, once she finally did send him pictures of her tits, what did he do? He made his video that is just for her to know this, that he got her, in which he informs her in no uncertain terms that she's an irredeemable shitbag. So, I don't know. You make of it what you will. So, I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Taste the biscuit. Taste the biscuit, everybody. So, people will make of that what they will. But when I read stuff like he put in that one particular email I read, which is something you said made me give you my number, and now you are trashing that effort because you are having a zero moment and or much further along than I am in this exchange, just saying. He says, let me help you with something you've self-admittedly exposed to me. understand that your self-esteem is hurting you. You're at a zero moment. And the way to restore your self-esteem is to send me naked pictures, right? Don't lead me on, bitch. Put up or shut up, you know? This guy's positioning himself as somebody who helps people with his guru information, including with matters such as self-esteem, and then exploits her trust to pressure her by saying that she is trashing his effort because of her low self-esteem. And this is a test to prove that you have not low self-esteem, you're not a shitty person. You need to send me a picture of your tits. And then when you do, I'm going to make a video all about what an incredibly shitty person you are. And lie and say it wasn't even me who was involved in this whole process. Unconscionable. Thing is, it is not about her engagement with her husband, okay? As it turns out, from what I can tell, they've been essentially separated for a while, living together, but not explicitly so. So, um, the point is, it requires a certain amount of intuition to understand just how shitty what this guy did is. You got to factor in the fact that she's making clear initially how much she is, in need of basic validation as a human being, not for her tits or whatever. And he gives her that kind of neutral validation with lots of extra coatings of safe on it, only to lure her behind the dumpster and be like, you know why you came back here. You better stop. You better get serious. What the hell are you doing? This is all part of your low self-esteem. That's why you're not bending over for me right now. Just fucking scumbaggery of the worst sort, in my opinion. You could interpret it differently. It's one of those things that's not as cut and dry as the fact that he lied about the fact that it was him who did it. That's cut and dry, black and white. I can make that case real easy. The case that he's basically being predatory and exemplifying textbook toxic masculinity in its ugliest form. It's a tougher case to make, right? It's requires a more holistic understanding of things. Right, Acacia. I appreciate that you understand what's going on here. I mean, I guess I'm kind of expecting to get pushed back on the grounds that, like, well, you can't really TI sustain your critique here. Just sounds like a guy who was getting impatient, And we don't know what all the text exchanges were, but it seems clear, like, she thought, how cool, I'm getting some attention from this YouTuber. I'm getting to talk to him. And he thought, here's somebody vulnerable I can break. That's how I read it. So, anyway, I've done really the work I needed to do in this stream, but I'm going to continue streaming on. And then now I've done the hard part. I just have to cut it and put it together. It's the hard part because it triggers me in unpleasant ways. or it makes me feel like, like I've been dragged behind the dumpster. I would hope that not even the most vigorous defender of him would say it's not, at the very least, extremely icky. But to me, it was extremely crafted, The whole, it's a combination of hard sales and PUA stuff, pickup artist stuff. It's just really horrible. And then what he chose to do with her afterwards, after she's like, you know what, this is all fucked up. I got, taken for a ride here. I'm done. He made that incredibly hateful video just to rub it in her face that he had got her, he'd played her, and she was a worthless piece of shit. And that he, with a paragon of moral virtue, upstanding, and would not get involved in anything like what his friend told him about with this woman, while concurrently calling her and telling her, or texting her, whatever, that I won't say your name. I think maybe a phone call, I'm not sure, but maybe a text exchange or something. I won't say your name, but I'll know I'm talking about you, and you'll know it's about you. What a piece of work. Well, and that's why Caroline says she wants to have this story told, is says in this email to me, there's absolutely no way this is the first time he's done this to a woman. He admits, I don't want to read this part. So, that's the key point here is there's absolutely no way that this is the first time he's done this to a woman, and he needs to be stopped. And it's like, as she says here again, I'll reiterate this part. Marty, after all, Marty didn't say my name, and when he didn't say my name, he thought he pressed his foot against my throat. But he didn't understand the only thing I've ever had is the truth. That's the only thing any good person uses as a weapon. Well, you walked by a bed store, okay? And this super friendly, affirming guy came out and was like, oh my God, that dress is so gorgeous and you're so wonderful. I know you're not really thinking about buying the bed, but let's just walk in the store together. And then you got ridiculously hard sold and corrupt, exploitative ways into purchasing a bed. So yeah, now you have to sleep in it, but it's not quite as clear cut as in other words, when the details come out in my opinion, you seem, the more I learn about it, the more you seem like a victim, even though you're also a perp in this situation. At the same time, it's also the case that it sounds like your marriage has been deteriorating for a while now, and difficult circumstances and feeling a total lack of affirmation in one's life makes one especially vulnerable to exploitation. If you had come around here and gotten affirmed by me by one of your comments, it would have played out just fine. Because why? I'm not a predatory, um, I don't know, exploiter or woman hater. I think that's really what he is more than anything else, is a woman hater. Like the language in that one thing. Once upon a time, someone brought up Marty in comments here at TWFE. I cracked a return comment as a joke. Marty picked it up and reached out to me, at which point I thought about it, decided it was wrong to make him the butt of the joke, apologized and removed the comment, asked him to return, in return, not to use my handle, which I believed he did not in one of his throwing frisbees episode. Instead of dolls, he used D asterisk LLES. Well, he can certainly use my name as much as he wants. And I am prepared for underhanded chicanery. I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but I'm certainly prepared for it. Caroline informs me that he's admitted on his channel, like, having his house raided because somebody accused him of making physical threats against them. And various other things like that I don't necessarily, that's all hearsay. I don't know. It's not relevant to the current situation anyway. But the thing is, in terms of the practicality on my end, it's sort of relevant because I wouldn't put much of anything past this guy, you know? Or you might have to go back in time in the live stream and rehear some of the emails I read. But revisit a couple of highlights here. This last email from him is a real piece of work. Just stop. Oh my God. Okay. You will never have all the answers. And using dominant NI and dominant FE at the levels I do, you see what happens. You are seeing it firsthand. Let me help you something. Let me help you with something you self-admittedly have exposed to me. Please read the first sentence in this email again and understand that your self-esteem is hurting. You are at 0. When something you said made me give you my number, and now you're trashing that effort because you're having a 0 moment, or how much further along than I am in this exchange? Just saying. I don't know where you live, what you look like, ... in brackets. He wants naked pictures. You know all. I am not sure what fuckery you are doing to yourself and thus ruining a pretty special moment by my standards. This is your version of a special moment, Marty? Are you sure you're not ruining the moment? Are you sure it's she who's ruining it? And you're just, oh, well, you're the important YouTuber with over 500 videos and 25,000 plus comments. You're a real piece of work. So there you go. Pretty awful stuff, right? Magic moments when two hearts are caring. What do you want, kitty? I find him completely intolerable, insufferable. Like, just hearing the man speak for 5 minutes makes me want to just projectile vomit. But I always felt that way about him. Like, I never thought, oh, here's a non-toxic, healthy person for a second. It's just I never had any good like proof or whatever. So what are you gonna do? You just intuit what you intuit, and maybe it's right, maybe it's not. I mean, with these kind of things, my intuition is basically never wrong. For some reason, I've got the ability to spot toxic fucks at a mile's distance. Of course, that scenario in which I said, like, if Carolyn had come around here and left a comment and gotten validated by me and said, oh, I really appreciate the validation, I would have said something like, hey, remember to love yourself, etc. Have a nice day. Except here's the thing, I would never even read Caroline's comments. Reading comments? What? Who reads comments? I read comments on my shorts because they're so infrequent. My belief is he singled her out because she's a woman with something of a picture of herself as a circle thing. Anyway, I also want to remind you, I've actually spoken to this person, heard the story firsthand as well, part of it anyway, and that's so if anybody thinks this is somehow I'm getting like catfished or whatever, no. I spoke with her. I saw her on video conference. I typed her. She's a real person. This really happened. And I'm sure Caroline's very unhappy that it did, but I applaud her making lemonade out of these lemons and making sure that this deplorable purveyor of mias be held to account. I know that was not her intention when she was trying to understand why she had done what she did. There actually is a pretty good typological explanation for it, which I've given before, but I'm sure she did not expect me to go like, oh, what? Oh, I gotta make a big fuss about this. Well, that's what I do sometimes. That's why they call me Biggie Fusses Smalls. Listening to some cool mashups earlier with Rachel. Like there's this great one with it's called Lose Yourself, but it's that ELO song. What's that ELO song called again? Your most famous, Mr. Blue Sky. It's great. If you haven't ever seen it, check it out. I think Caroline had just encountered me shortly after this whole Marty fiasco because of one of my type police video on him, She said she watched one more of my videos, and that's all she'd ever watched of me before getting typed by me. And I am fully convinced at this point that she's an INFJ. I haven't engaged with her enough. Hell hath no fury. The thing is, nothing good ever happens in secret. So-called privacy is just something that people say to justify their hiding their bad behavior. And bad people love to exploit secrets. How can you need me to watch you eat again? I just was in here and watched you eat like for a long time. It's ridiculous. This cat is just insane. The most important question of all is this. Why didn't Caroline use the KE strategy and send him a picture of somebody else's boobs? You can find boobs on the internet so easily. They're easy to locate. Well, that requires her to be a little quicker on her feet than that, I think, As I was telling Rachel the other day, back when I was single, girls would ask for a dick pic. I'd send them a picture of a big black cock that I found on the internet. And they'd kind of, put me back a question mark and say, well, I look different below the belt.
Me petting him makes me want to pet him.
Okay, you get in there, darling. Get in there and get your pet on. I'll take that trash out while I'm at it.
Meow.
So anyway, then when I finally get with those girls, they'd say, oh, I guess you were just suntanned in that picture.
You treat. Sorry.
All right, taking the trash out. Here I go. I'm a real winner in the game of life. Why? Because I'm taking the trash out. Not everybody can do that. First of all, only men are allowed to take the trash out. This isn't women's work. They'll dirty their dainty fingers if they touch the trash. Second of all, you need a lot of arm muscles, like more than 5. Otherwise, your arm's going to break off on your way to the trash can. Last week, I made the horrible, horrible error of forgetting to take the trash out on Sunday night. So, we are seriously running out of trash can room. And if that doesn't alarm and concern you, then I don't know what does. Because it's kind of the textbook definition of that which is alarming and concerning concurrently.
Thank you.
Conlarming. It's conlarming. Here. Well, whatever they want to call it, I call it predatory. You know? Why does anybody want to get somebody to do something they don't want to do? I mean, if your idea of a good time is the minimally acceptable level of consent, you got something pretty fucked up going on. It just seems pretty cut and dry, right? It's like, haha, I tricked this human into consenting to something they didn't really want to do. Good for you? Maybe you should stop being such an awful human being? Well, that fuck's getting exposed. That's for shizzo my nizzos. I hope everybody's understanding now and appreciating how foshizo it is. No, I mean, I think Winston's mom was right on the money here, Jeremiah Fix. This is not low empathy, it's dark triad shit. I know. I do, Rachel. I've got twice the riz of even 100 Skibidi Bombaclats combined, which is a lot of riz. Yeah, I've got as much riz as Jackie Chan plus hundreds of Bombaclats combined. A lot of people have called me the British Jackie Chan, even though I'm American. So, you know, sometimes there's no explaining people and what they do. Paul. Yes, Sophia. I'm here. Paul, could you tell me? Would you? Could you? Tell me. Yes, Sophia. Could you tell me? Yes, Sophia. Tell me your name. Paul. Oh, Sophia. We both know my name is Paul. Trouble, what do you possibly want now? I just watched you eat. You cannot possibly need any more eat watching. So you could stop meowing at me if you'd like. I've got an IQ of 74. That's 4 points more than before. I've gotten smarter. yet a whole lot smarter. My IQ is in the toilet. My key is my key is over 5,000. Wow. What is my IQ? M wants to know what my IQ is. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna guess 170. 172 sounds more realistic than an even 170. You got to pick kind of a random number. It sounds more like a real score that way. I've got 172 IQ, but I've got only a 85 emotional IQ. And I'm about 104 in my kinesthetic IQ. I'm 172 years old. Right. And that's how you get IQ points. You live one more year, you get one more point. Otherwise, it wouldn't be fair, right? Then you'd have good cause to complain if, like, hey, I've lived longer than that guy, but he's smarter than me. What's up with that? That's why you get 1 point per year. That's why Rachel's IQ is 39 and mine is 172. I have no idea about my IQ, says Acacia. I'm giving you an IQ of, let's go 123 on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. 149 the rest of the days of the week. Boba Fett, don't complain about your small tits, okay? Remember, if you had better tits, I'd probably try to pressure you into sending me a picture of them. I didn't need school. I was too smart to go. Well, congratulations. Yeah. Well, with an IQ of 39, you're a very, very slow 5-year-old. 39 is like profoundly retarded. You know, you can't move around, let alone speak or anything. I'm 7. Well, congratulations. 7's an excellent age to be. You know that when I was 7, I built the Great Pyramids of Egypt? It's true. What have you accomplished by age 7? Have you accomplished that much? If so, you're too busy. You should be out playing. AI is typing for you? Really? Well, you should try not to do that at age 7. Unless you're 7 in dog years. No, Dolls, that's an urban myth. A lot of the older history books, especially, haven't updated to the newest translations of the hieroglyphs that explain clearly designed and built by hand by Eric in ancient Egypt, signed Eric and all the pharaohs. I mean, I was gonna build pyramids for the Mayans too, Jeremiah Fix, but unfortunately, they refused to keep Mayan Shanktopus out of my area. And Mayan Shanktopus, additionally, began teaming up with glide flaps. And together, they were an unstoppable team. And then later, Mayan Shanktopus and glide flaps, they started hanging out with, making a bigger criminal organization with Paul and Sophia. Sophia would say, Paul, could you ask Mayan Shanktopus a question, Paul? And then Mayan Shanktopus would say to glide flaps, and what is up with these crazy gringos? Glide Flaps would say, don't bother me, I'm going gliding. Let's see. Lol Dulles says they meant to write Eric, host Eric, but accidentally spelled it Osiris. No, it was signed by Osiris too. Anyway, Glide Flaps is a human man, who's evolved the same kind of glide flaps as a flying squirrel. And in conjunction with Mayan Shanktopus, you can glide down on unsuspecting tourists at the Mayan pyramids, making them run up the Mayan pyramids and directly into the waiting obsidian knife holding tentacles of Mayan Shanktopus. Are you daring me, Rubinar? Oh, I see. Daring her to kiss my cute face. Well, it is very kissable. I might even still have. That's probably what that red stuff was. When I saw my cheek earlier when I made my. When these Skibidi Bombaclats see my riz, they all be like, "Gat." Short. I saw this red stuff on my face. I think it was Rachel's lipstick. Now that I think about it. If you failed genealogy questions, it indicates TI polar, right? Well, I mean, sure, as long as they're short ones, right? I could construct a genealogy question that's so complicated that only an INTP could solve it.
Love you.
Love you. I could make one that's even more complicated than that, but I wouldn't be able to solve it either. We'd have to go back and re-listen to it. You'd make it long enough. What if I say, who is your husband's wife's? I mean, who is your father's sister's husband in relation to you? And they can't come up with uncle. Then that's indicative maybe of like TI polar. Or if I say, who is your mother's husband in relation to you, and they can't come up with a grandfather, that's indicative of TI polar. But in and of itself, that's not sufficient to establish it. You got to ask the other kind of TI questions too if you want to do a full TI assessment. What does that mean, calling someone an asswipe? It means that they do have a purpose and a role in life, and it's useful, but it's to wipe your ass with. So it's not the job you want to have in life. If you had to choose a job of an object, don't choose toilet paper. What do you want to be when you grow up? Toilet paper. Why? Oh, because all I gotta do is just sit in the bathroom all day. Okay, you really thought through how it's gonna be being toilet paper? I'm a stinger. I'm a toilet paper. I know all the assholes in town. Do rich people use dollar bills to wipe? No, because I don't believe the dollar bills would be an effective form of toilet paper. I don't think you'd get as much poo onto the um, dollar bills you would to on a piece of toilet paper, which is designed specifically to gather poo upon it. I think even rich people don't like bidets. Only the French like bidets, and that's because they don't want to wash their hands after they go to the bathroom. It's a good Skid Row pun there, Admiral Mighty Buffoon. Maybe pennies. Yeah. Well, that's how the ancient Greeks wiped their butts. They had these little butt wiping rocks. And there's like this whole area where people would go to wipe their butt with these butt wiping rocks. They had two different kind of butt wiping rocks. Who is my brother's father's son to me? Well, my brother's father is my father. His father is my grandfather. His only son is my father again. So it's my father, Jeremiah Fix. I'm poor and I do that, Boba. I'm bougie AF. Glad to hear that, Karma's phone. Very pleasing. How can I get all this poop from my butt? All you little rocks. The whole field of like ancient Greek poop rocks. They've archaeologically uncovered. Hey, look, everybody. We found more poop rocks over here. Well, yeah, they have two different kinds. One is like to cut away the main part of the poop or whatever, and the other one is to scrape away any residue. How did my ancestors first meet? Well, my mom and my dad met at some army mixer thing in Europe when they were both working for the military. And my dad said to my mom, "You want to come outside and look at the engine of my car?" And my mom said, "Okay, I guess." And then my dad took my mom outside and showed her the engine to his car, explained how it was a great engine. He raced Mini Coopers in Europe while being in the military band and coaching wrestling for the military at the same time. My mom was a teacher on a military base. That's why they were at the same mixer. Apes use Rick's as toilet paper. Okay. I mean ancient. Apes use rocks as toilet paper. And then Eric was born right there and then. Poop wiper rocks. Yeah. Mysteries of the ancient world. Poop rocks. But were these poop rocks really poop rocks for the ancient Greeks? Or was there something more mysterious at play? They get the archaeologist. Pretty much everyone agrees they're poop rocks. But were they really poop rocks? If you've ever watched those kind of shows before, you know how infuriating they are with their nonsense. It's like that show, Treasure Island. What's it called? Oak Island? Treasure of Oak Island? And they like drill some test hole, and then the narrator goes, and then they pull up some stuff, and it's got like signs of disturbed dirt from 60 feet down. And the narrator always goes, disturbed dirt in a borehole nearly 60 feet down, near where the money hole purportedly was once found in 1862? And they dramatically cut to them looking at this dirt, you know? It's ridiculous. I'm testing spoons for their runsability. Now you're gonna have me Googling something, Dulles. You got me Googling. I don't know what runcible means. I can't find it on Google either. Google also doesn't know what runcible means. Yes, I mean runcible. A pseudo word invented by Edward Lear. The word appears as an adjective. Eventually, the runcible spoon used by the owl and the pussycat. So it's kind of like Skibidi. Runcible means Skibidi. It means making the Marty vid stream for Skibidi Bombaclats. Well, I read those emails out loud so that I could just clip them from this rather than have to do the work on my phone separately. I don't know, just a way to motivate myself to get moving on it because I need to get it done because it's consuming my attention too much. Oh, I know where this spoon has been. On my nose. This is a silver spoon too. I wasn't born with this silver spoon on my nose, but I have it now. Made out of real, honest to goodness silver, this little spoon. So feel safe that it is fungus and bacteria resistant inherently by virtue of its quality as a precious metal. Yeah, it is a great little spoon, Carolyn Johnson. It's what you might call my little scooper. So a little scooper, see? A perfectly sized scooper for making little scoops. Mommy's little scooper. I like the fact that the dog in The Simpsons was named Santa's Little Helper. I think that's a good name for a dog. Stedo Egyptian girls making the rockin' world go round. You mean Bombaclats? Well, there came to the crumpety tree Mr. and Mrs. Canary, and they said, did you ever see any spot so charmingly airy? May we build a nest on your charming hat, Mr. Quangle Wangle? And he's like, fuck no. That's my hat. And then the birds flew away. The end. So, anyway, I am working on, I have it in the works, my plan to write history's boringest book, which is called Paul and Sophia. And it's basically a series of conversations between Paul and Sophia. Paul entered the drawing room where Sophia sat by the bay window on this dreary winter's afternoon. She turned as he approached. "Paul," she said quietly. Startled, he looked up. "Sophia, didn't you anticipate seeing me here?" "Paul?" queried Sophia. "Oh, yes, dear, I didn't mean to be startled. I was merely lost in thoughts." "But, Paul." "Yes, Paul, tell me." "Yes, Sophia." "Do tell, Paul." "Yes, my darling." "What thoughts in which you were lost?" Just a whole book paced like that. And then I'll sell it to Searchlight Pictures. And they can make a really boring period drama. And it's set in Victorian England. But now men want to run away from responsibility. They used to call them husbands. But now men want to run away from responsibility. I was envisioning it with a PH, Rachel, Sophia, like that. Here Lamb says to Boba he should get jacked. I think maybe the title of this book should be Paul and Sophia Get Jacked. And, but it's really just a Victorian era drawing room piece, each in like 3 acts. And each act is set in the drawing room, but it's set at a different time of day. So the first act is set in the morning. And in the first act, they get through most of a conversation about why Paul has entered the drawing room. In this first act, Sophia says Paul a total of 74 times. Paul. They continually call each other by their names. They just do not use any pronouns. Then the second act, it begins, the drawing room's empty, and Paul walks in with a napkin. He's dabbing crumbs from his mouth. He walks over to the bay window and sighs. And then Sophia enters the drawing room, slowly, the door creaking. She peeks her head in. This time it's Paul is looking out the bay window. She says, "Paul, Paul." "Oh, I'm sorry, dear. I was staring at the bay window. It's a dreary, dreary afternoon." "Paul." "Anyway, did you just finish lunch?" "Oh, this?" "Yes, I'm afraid I did. I had the maid make me have something in the study, I say." "Paul, tell me." "Yes, dear." At this point, Sophia enters the drawing room, okay, in full. She's been kind of coquettishly hovering by the door prior to that. Anyway, by the end of the second act, they finish discussing why Paul had come in the drawing room in the first act. And established at the end of the second act that Sophia hasn't had anything to eat yet, even though Paul had lunch. And Paul recommends having the maid make her up something. The third act, now she walks into the drawing room. This time she has a napkin and she's having crumbs from her mouth. And then, as she's staring at the bay window, he comes in and she's, "Oh, Paul, you startled me." Even though at this point they should expect to see each other coming into the drawing room. So it seems to be where they both spend all of their time when they're not eating, you know. Are you looking out the bay window? Oh, Paul, I am. It's a dreary evening. Because the third act is in the evening. First one morning, second one afternoon, third one in the evening. And it ends on this sort of weird philosophical note where now they're both sitting by the bay window, and she says, "Paul, I guess maybe, Paul, maybe none of it matters, but we still have," and he says, and she says in unison, "the bay window." Curtain. It's a spectacularly existential play. Does he love her? Oh yeah. He loves her, but neither of them really know what love means. Because it seems as though every day is a day filled with drawing rooms and dreary afternoons. Like they're in each of the scenes, of course, they're all dressed up, as though they got dressed up to go to the drawing room. You know, perhaps one of the times when one walks in with a napkin dabbing the crumbs from their mouth, they remove a bib and put on a smoking jacket or something. Um, and there should be like fancy books on bookshelves, like a lot of law books and medicine books. And one of the scenes, one of the acts, Sophia has to leave the room because the maid alerts her that a delivery is coming that she needs to sign for. And in that part of the scene, Paul silently stares at the different books for a solid like 45 seconds, going like this until he pulls one down and says out loud, kind of talking to himself, to the audience, though, "Ah, Maynard's Anatomy, Volume 4. I wonder." And then in comes Sophia again. "Paul." And he closes the book and puts it back on the shelf. It's full of hot paced action like that. It's really, the thing is, a lot of people said it would have been a really just incredibly boring play, except for the sudden arrival of glide flaps in the third act. When glide flaps swoops in and hits the bay window with a thud, falling to the ground outside, everyone in the audience is stunned. Paul says, glide flaps. And then Sophia says, Paul, please, let's not change the subject. And that's the only reference, the only appearance of glide flaps or reference to him in the whole play. Leaving audiences and critics alike wondering, who's glide flaps? How can I get in touch with them? Oh. The title of it will be Sophia and Paul, and then in parentheses, and glide flaps. People will also be wondering, how did he make the title of the play when he only appears for just 1 second, And then the author of the play, me, will respond by saying, because it's in parentheses, obviously it's less important than Paul and Sophia. He is, of course, the third character and was otherwise just a 2-character play. So, like, I got a role. I got a role in Sophia and Paul and Glide Flaps. Oh, what role did you get? I got Glide Flaps. But he didn't even have a line. Yeah, well, I was going for either Paul or Sophia, but they cast me as Glide Flaps in my school production of Paul and Sophia and Glide Flaps. But Mr. Jackson, why do we have to do a play that only has 3 characters in it? We've got 30 kids in the class. Listen, if you love theater, you will understand how powerful this play is, okay? Sophia and Paul and Glide Flaps, that's all you need in any production. Welcome to the Jackson City High School production of Paul, Sophia, and Paul and Glide Flaps. Thank you for attending tonight's play. Everybody's playing the role of like bookcase or whatever, except for these 3 kids. Like, they have to do it on the cheap, right? So you just have a kid playing Glide Flaps just run into the bay window, like throw himself into it. And I don't have any ropes or anything. And then, like, scurry away from behind the curtains. And Paul's like, Glide Flaps. All the parents are confused. What are we watching? It's an avant-garde Norwegian playwright that I, the teacher, believe is very instructive to the students about theater, playwriting. In that last moment, Paul and Sophia saying, Pearson, at least we have this bay window. And then the curtains drop, and then the lights go on, and the parents in the audience are all like, what did we just see? And the teacher who's like this horrible, like impassioned ENFP guy. Oh, that was wonderful. Wasn't it wonderful to see our kids doing such sophisticated material? OMG, you keep popping up in the live 2N. Eric is me when I'm on 3 hours of sleep. For how many hours of wakefulness? If you have 3 hours of sleep out of 4 total hours, I'm not impressed. KP doesn't want to be known. He doesn't want to be known. Okay, well, does he want to be deliberated? You gotta keep them deliberated, as that one song says, by that one band that one time. I don't know if you guys remember. Oh, he wants to be acted upon. Okay. Well, then I guess I will do my best Jimmy Cagney impression. It's curtains for you. Yeah, it's curtains for you. 'Cause you're a stool pigeon. And it's curtains for you. That's my best impression I can do. Yeah, that was the offspring. Keep them deliberated. It's funny, I was making up this magical thing for Rachel earlier to demonstrate how it's silly to take seriously these magical things because you could just make it up for anything. For example, I said we could talk about how our names work is sets of iambic or iambic or trochaic syllables. So, like if you do our two names together, taking her maiden name, we have a total of 13 syllables between the two of us, 11 of which are trochaic, and 2 of which are iambic. 13 is a prime number. Iambic syllables are generally considered softer sounding than trochaic, like Eric, Dale, Strauss is trochaic. It's half of a I mean, technically, we don't have 11, we have 10 and a half trochaic feet. And 10 and a half trochaic. Now, we've got 11 syllables, but it's 5 trochaic feet with a feminine ending. Anyway, so I started making up some bullshit about, softness, whatever. If I had wanted to be more specific, I could have said, okay, so because you've got your first name represents this component of your part of your life, and your middle name represents these components, and your last name these. Now, it's notable if your middle name is trochaic, and then I could have made a bunch of other shit, right? But I was making it up pretty good. And unfortunately, instead of Rachel going, oh, I see. That's astrology stuff and those kind of things, numerology, they are just bullshit. Anybody could just make it up to anything. Instead, she was like, oh, tell me more. I want to know more about this new magic. So it was a little bit. It wasn't. It was the NI Dom version, not the TI. Like the TI Polar version of this is Homer Simpson going, Lisa, I want to buy your rock. When he's like, well, the Bear Patrol's working. Lisa says, what makes you say that? And he's like, well, I don't see any more bears. And Lisa's like, well, that's specious reasoning, Dad. Look, I've got this rock. It's preventing tigers from attacking us. After all, you don't see any tigers, do you? And he goes, Lisa, I want to buy your rock. I mean, I think obviously Rachel was much more aware of um, the irony of it, you know. Oh, I forgot. I forgot I'm not supposed to show you my health tubes. Let's keep that in mind. I don't want to get age restricted. So I could totally make up this system. And I feel like deep within each of us are the rhythms of our human essence. They express in accents and in valleys, in parts of words that strike forward in an aggressive fashion, and in parts of words that are calmer, more soothing. And our name is a manifestation of these deep, ancient, acoustical elements of soul and tell us so much about who we are, who we can be, who we will become, and most of all, who we're compatible with. Because if I'm guessing right, you're a woman with SI somewhere around slot 8 who wants external confirmation that your perfect relationship with your wonderful husband who loves you beyond all measure and married you is in fact one that is supported by a real outside of the self compatibility. Something, you know, like astrology, numerology, or Eric's ancient Chinese, ancient Chinese metered verse name thing, right? It's just a tendency of INFJs. They're trying to understand everything with knowing, but objectively. So they look to externalities for even things that they could not possibly be informed by, except by their own experience slash feelings, uh, slash, you know, say red flags, green flags, this kind of stuff. I think there's a place for heuristics for what makes a good relationship, what's a red flag, etc. But in the absence of any red flags, and this is the problem that Rachel has. See, Rachel has a relationship that's not giving her enough negative feedback. She's not hearing from me what's wrong with her and how she should change. And so, accordingly, she's trying to figure out, okay, let me confirm that it's not because I'm so cool and Eric loves me. This is working out so well. It's because of our numbers and our types and our Enneagram types and our astrology and if you want to make me hate an astrologer right away, all they have to do is say that you and I are not compatible. I don't think I tell you that, do I, Rachel? Do I say, I don't remember ever saying you look like shit, do I? Have I said that to you? Maybe. I can't remember ever saying it. Maybe it's a joke or something. I didn't tell you looked like shit today. I just said that outfit's more Cinco de Mayo than it is Chinese New Year. I thought you looked good in it. Focus Film W. Eric, you are a funny ass 42-year-old ENTP from Ohio. Haven't watched you in a year. Let's chill. Smile, smile, smile. Well, if you say that I'm a funny ass 42-year-old ENTP from Ohio, you're incorrect. I'm 52 and I'm from California. If you're saying that you're the ENTP from Ohio, well, congratulations. I'm a little slower than that to just immediately go hang out with somebody, but welcome. I mean, the thing is, Rachel, there would never be a circumstance where I would volunteer that I don't like the way you look because I wouldn't notice it. I only notice how you look if you dress up. However, I don't think you want me to lie to you if you say, do you think this goes with that, right? And I go, I don't really think that goes really well with that. You don't want me to lie about that, do you? And not that that really ever occurs. You have excellent taste. Hi, right now, I in the Caribbean, Mexico, it's carnival time. Are you in the Caribbean or are you in Mexico? It's okay. I was saying that because Caroline said that she always wants the truth, but even though we're both INFJs, I don't always want the truth. Well, I mean, that's the thing. You want the truth if you ask a question, right? You don't want to be lied to, but you don't want the truth necessarily volunteered if it's pointlessly critical and or hurtful unnecessarily or whatever. After all, the thing about me and Rachel is I wear short skirts, she wears t-shirts. I'm cheer captain, and she is on the bleachers. So I have to wear one of these nose expanding breathe. They're opposite breathe rates. I don't. The thing is, all of my responses to how Rachel looks are authentic. Foremost, I don't pay attention to how she looks very much at all, right? Or to how anything else or anybody else looks. I am thinking about stuff. She might be walking in the room. I might be looking directly at her, but in my head it has nothing to do with what I'm looking at. It has to do with, I wonder why people don't use paper clips as nose openers. This way it makes more sense than from the top side. I might be thinking about that. So I'm not going to volunteer you look good unless something, I don't know, it's striking enough that it crosses me over into the um uh I'm sorry, Focus Film W. I don't want to come to the Caribbean, Mexico right now. And I will pass on your offer, but I appreciate it. It's a very kind offer for you to make. If you are in fact making that offer and all of this is real, I'm guessing you already have a fair amount of tequila in you, which is why you're making this ridiculous offer. I am not going to Mexico right now or anytime soon. Uh, you mean G.I. Jane, Rachel? Yeah. She made a mistake with those clippers. And I tell you, you slip with your hand until you don't have enough adequate distancer thing on it, then you can, all of a sudden you got a new wave haircut, you know? Stranger danger. I don't want to go to Mexico for one thing, and it would be reckless of me to just be like, okay, random person in this chat, sure, buy me a plane ticket and I'll meet you in Mexico. And be incredibly reckless. So I'm gonna stay with the cats. What am I gonna do? Leave Rachel here the whole time? It's ridiculous. I film high-end real estate in beautiful Caribbean Mexico. If you've never come down, it's beautiful. Usually stay for 4 or 6 months at a time before going back to the States. Well, we've got a lot going on here in beautiful Mariposa, California. I appreciate the invitation, but we got a lot going on. We're about to close escrow on a income property and do vacation rentals, which is going to require very hands-on stuff by me and Rachel, which is why we were getting one just down the street from her. But that's going to keep us pretty well locked in place for the foreseeable future. You know, like working. Okay, Focus Film W. I'm sorry. You come in. You come in now at a time of heightened security checks, heightened suspicion, because there's this YouTube beef on the griddle with a person of low integrity, high toxicity, and gargantuan portions of ickiness. So I would definitely not put it past them to masquerade as somebody else, attempt to meow in some way or another, you know. Scratch, scratch, hiss, hiss. How many guadalas can you fit in a hara? 3. One to make the Panama Canal, another one to be the equator, and a third one to represent the changes of the globe due to the Mandela effect. Okay, this one is empty, goes in the trash. This one is full, goes in my ass, my mouth. No, really not like that. It's a pretty cool place, Caribbean, Mexico. Well, cool. Kitty, what do you possibly want now? It is true that I like fishing. I don't like riding on boats on the ocean, but I bet there are spots you could get good fishing off of the shore in Mexico for ocean fishes. I don't necessarily want to eat every kind of ocean fish, but there might be some kind of ocean fish that I could catch that I might want to eat, in theory. Okay, what do you want? What do you want? What do you need? Why are you meowing at me constantly? I think Clubby needs to be at the place on an island somewhere. Well, good for him. I don't have a place on an island. I'm not fond of the beach. That's why I moved up to the mountains. I don't want sand beneath my panties and my vagina flaps. Nor do I want it in my butt cheeks. Neither do I want sand below my toes, in between my tatami slippers. Some of the reasons why I don't like the beach. Also, you get sunburned. Also, you get salty and sticky. Also, there are no trees. Also, you have to spend hours watching a cat eat. Also, frequently, out of nowhere, you'll be having a pleasant day at the beach when the people right in front of you will put on a production of Paul, Sophia, and Paul and glide flaps. That happens like every time I go to the beach. It's like, oh God, I can't believe I have to watch this boring play again. Because then they fence off the area so you can't get out until the play's over. Like police with dogs staying there to prevent you from leaving. Paul. It's the same play, but now hear the sound of waves crashing in the background. You can barely hear the actors. They're trying to really raise their voices. Paul! So anyway, let's do it like this, Rachel. I'll be Paul. You be Sophia.
Okay.
And he can play glide flaps.
Okay.
No,
again. It was you just were here.
It's ridiculous. I don't know what you think you're doing, Trouble. Like, you can't possibly need that much food. And you can't even... Why do you never run out of hair to shed, you know? You have an infinite supply of sheddable hair.
Mm-hmm.
I can pet him 50,000 times in a row, and I would get hair on my hand every single time.
If I don't use the roller, like, the hair is just everywhere.
Yeah, I know. Absolutely. I mean, look here. It's on my hand.
On your hands. It's a little tough.
And I thought I had just thrown it all away, too. So now, look, now my hand's clean. Now watch. This is troubling. I feel he's so uncooperative that even when you can see a little bit of it there, but even when I want him to prove how he constantly sheds, then he won't on cue, you know.
That's true.
Just to be difficult.
See it, though. There. It's all over the front of your hand, too. The back of your hand, whatever.
Yeah. Well, Trouble, are you sure you don't want to eat some more? Maybe I need to watch you eat some more. You thought about that? I do, huh? I do need to watch you eat some more. I have not spent enough time watching you eat. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
You don't have to be a dickwad about everything all the time.
Everything.
Now let me out the back door. Okay, out you go.
Go.
At least Trouble's less of a pussyfooter when it comes to going out the back, any of the doors. Capilla likes to tell me to open the door, then stand in the doorway and just...
She always decides not to go.
Well, it depends, you know. Sometimes she does, sometimes she doesn't, but she's she's a Mugity and a Mia. Hey, host Eric, Servant King, Stuff Doer here. On my HP friend's phone going, Skibidi, how you doing? I'm doing fine. I'm showing my riz to all the Skibidi Bombaclats, and they're all like, yeah. And I'm all like, no cap. And then they're all like, this. And I'm all like, same. That's how you talk like a young person. Well, no, don't like tequila. Been here for 9 years now, but getting ready to drink some vodka, and yeah, 1 hour. Wow, how disciplined of you. I must wait till meow o'clock.
I give you the kiss on the cheek.
Mm-hmm.
I love you.
I love you too, darling.
You're cracking me up.
Thanks. The sound of your laughter is one of my most pleasing sounds I can hear.
Aww. Thank you.
Period T. Period T, huh? Do you need a gush defense? Is that what you're trying to say?
Oh, me?
No. Or Caroline Johnson with period T.
Oh yeah, you've been talking about gush defense.
I have, yeah. Because I started getting that for my pads and stuff. I was like tired of just putting on my pants 7 a.m., 7:30, just taking out this completely sopping, bloody mess of cloth and putting it in the washing machine. So that's why I got Gush Defense. I highly recommend it. It prevents your vaginal blood sploosh splash party from getting too out of control. Hi, grandchild Ed P445 Cupcake. I'm your grandpa and you're my grandchild, but I don't know you at all.
May I suggest next time we go to Ace, maybe getting like warm light bulbs like the ones in these two
For that?
up here? Yeah.
That's not a bad suggestion. We probably have some warmer light bulbs than these already in the house that I could potentially try to replace these with.
Not right now. I'm totally not asking you to do that. But as something to
I
do.
could do it right
Or
now.
yeah, if you'd like. Whatever you'd like. But yeah, I think it would just like tonally go better with the room.
Do you think it would help if I had a paperclip on my nose at the same time?
Yes.
I think so too.
I think the electricity will go through your nose. Like
Right.
the electric energy in the air will go through your nose into your brain.
Well, they call this an electrician's lightning rod.
Oh yeah, so
yeah,
working.
It actually protects you. It diffuses the lightning away from your brain into your nose, then back down your throat and out your dick.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So okay, I will go. Let's go look at the light bulbs, everybody. Why not? Let's go have a little fun. Let's look at a few light bulbs. Let's see what the light bulbs look like. Let's figure out if any of them. We're gonna say yes to the light bulb. This is like say yes to the dress, but for light bulbs. In the updated, hip, new, modern version of Sophia and Paul and Glide Flaps, this is one of the scenes in the new version. Paul, what about this bulb? Sophia, can you read the wattage? Oh, Paul, do you prefer this bulb? One of the scenes that prompted New York Times critic Gene Wilsonstein to write, "I can't believe how boring this play is." Wow, now that's a boring class. We've got some more light bulbs here. I got these kind of light bulbs. I'm leaning towards this clear one, but maybe that's still too bright. We got some of these like pretend candle bulbs. Those aren't for that kind of fixture. What are these? Uh-huh. These are more pretend candle bulbs. Made in Taiwan. Good job, Taiwan. This is made before they required you to call yourself Chinese Taipei. A sign of our geopolitical times. I've got some gush defense all night. Well, we've got this one, 25 watts. This is a small wattage. This would be a gentle light bulb. Gentle light bulb 1, 2, 3. Gentle light bulb you and me. This one's 25. This one's a 3-wayer. 50, 100, 150. I don't know what happens if you put a 3-way bulb in a 1-way socket. Do they both become 2-way? Nobody's really sure. Here's another light bulb. I could do light bulb mix and match since I don't seem to have a lot of uniform. I should just bring all the light bulbs with me over there. This thing that I'm doing is just silly. Just bring all the light bulbs with you. You don't need to hang out here in the laundry room fondling light bulbs. Just go ahead, go in the other room, put them in the fixture like Dorian Gray's picture. All right. So, here's our horrible, horrible light fixture that I hate so much. All right, let's see what we got. Let's try this old one here first and see how it looks. This is obviously LED because it's not hot, even though it's been on for a while. Oops, the bottom part's hot. All right, let's try it with this one instead. And see if it looks better, worse, something in between. What did I say about Taiwan? Those light bulbs, those old light bulbs we have in there, are representative of an era before Taiwan had to call themselves Chinese Taipei. It said on it, made in Taiwan. You won't see that anymore. Why will this not screw into there? Is it something with the wrong size or something? I think I'm just doing a poor job of screwing it in. How many Erics does it take to screw in a light bulb? Just one, apparently. That's warmer. I don't know if it's warm enough for Lady Warm Lights, as she's known. My wife Rachel. She's known as the Grand Dam of Warm Lighting. Alright, let's go ahead and try this old 25er here. See how she blows. See how this boat floats, as they say. That's a gentle one. It's as gentle as a morning dew. Let's try this little one. It's definitely a lot gentler, but I wouldn't mind if this one right here were a little gentler still. But it definitely is a much gentler lighting solution. I think I can make it even better. Ooh, these incandescent bulbs are getting hot fast. Let's see how this three-way bulb does. I want to take a gander and see what wattage it defaults to. If it defaults to 50, might be a good choice. That's too bright. Okay. So let me try one of these. This is a 25 water. I could put these in all three of them. We have to lay this one. So this one, too, maybe. This is old school. I don't know, maybe this is too. Let's find out. That's pretty mild. I like it. Let's take this little one out. Put another one of these in here. And one more of those and we should be good to go. I could replace the other one in the other room with something else. Go out there! But it sounds like when Rachel and I are having sex. I'm joking, it doesn't really sound like that. Well, I don't think these are LED. I think these are, well, they're these things. It's incandescent light bulbs. So, there you go. With safety circuit, 1500 hours. That's such bullshit. Light bulbs could last way longer, but it doesn't make as good a product, right? You just sell it once. Well, I do think it's an unpleasant kind of light inside the house, you know? These incandescent bulbs actually kind of make me want to try changing the bulbs in these things even. Let's see what it looks like back here if I change these bulbs. I think these are LED, but they're just sort of soft LED. Oh no. That's a 200-watt incandescent. That's really going to be hot, so I can't change that one out yet. And this one is an LED one over here. Unfortunately, the incandescent one. I guess this light bulb doesn't work. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's that specific light bulb. Yeah, okay. So, I guess this light bulb here is broken. I'll toss that in there. Yeah, what? You cannot possibly expect me to watch you eat again. That would just be too ridiculous for any human being to tolerate. Okay. I think Rachel will like this lighting better. But I also think that I need to replace this one over here because it's got, like, you'll see here, this is just regular, and that has like crinkles. So to get rid of the crinkles, I'm going to replace it with the same kind of light bulb that's over here. And we'll have all nice, soft, incandescent bulb light. And no horrible LED lights. And nothing too overbearing in terms of intensity. There. Now we've got the meow over there. We've got the meow over there. We've got this meow. We've got this meow. You've got to be kidding me. Now, this one is LED. It's a little hot though. What do you want? You want me to watch you eat again? You cannot possibly be serious. What? You just want me to stand in the kitchen? You've got to be kidding me, dude. I just watched you eat like less than an hour ago for sure. And less than an hour before that. I mean, no eat this frequently. You're not a hummingbird. What insanity is this, you know? Can anybody even conceive of having a cat that needs this much eat watching? It's crazy wackadoodle, meazy mackadoodle, blazy and blackabluble. This cat. What would you do for a Klondike bar, Trouble? Would you require me to watch you eat 50 times a day? Like, how can you possibly choke more food down? It's not like you do anything in between your binge eatings. Oh, God. Are you done or what? Am I gonna have to watch you eat in another 5 minutes? I think Rachel's gonna really enjoy the improvement here in the lighting. Very comfortable, not excessively bright kind of lighting. All right, now it's time to take the light bulbs back to the light bulb room. I should pivot to kitty mukbang for the subs. I'm not sure if I would get many subs for doing that, but I will tell you this. I could produce many instances of content on that a day. Like, I could film myself watching Trouble eat, or film just Trouble eating. I have to stand there watching him anyway, you know. We're looking for hours and hours of that content a day. Oh, this is one of those ones. Okay, light bulbs. Here you go. Into your light bulb shelf. Up into the light bulb shelf you go. Now, I'm not loving this. I think what I'm going to do, make myself love it more. Move the trash can. And move this over more so this door almost opens. So this big puffy jacket here, it's a big pain in the ass to get in and out of here otherwise. Okay. And we'll close this cupboard door. Goodbye. Stuff like that goes in there. Isn't this thing neato? I like this thing. hard to use, but you push it up and it comes, pow, and then you could hang things on it. You want to go out this way, Trouble? Trouble, as usual, following me around. Out you go, Mr. Man. I'll probably just go right next door and go back through the through the garage. Come in through here right now. Is Rachel in here or is she upstairs? She's upstairs. That's fine. That's good. I don't need to work quiet right around there. And okay, so what are we doing? I believe somebody said they were going to force me to go to Mexico. Is that what we're doing? Forced trip to Mexico. I'm just kidding. I know you didn't say you were going to force me to go to Mexico. I mean, the problem with Mexico in general, of course, I'm sure everyone will tell you, is that it's a good way to get kidnapped by a drug cartel. The same light bulbs that were mainly used throughout the history of humanity. Hilarious. If the light bulb does not get hot to the touch, it's not actual light. That stuff that's apparently illuminating the room, that's not light. That's actually time. I used the same light bulbs my ancestors did back when they came in from tending the field in 1842. These are the light bulbs that me and him have used since back before the dawning of 200 AD, when electricity and light bulbs were invented. Stop inventing so many light bulbs. It's annoying me. Alright, fine. It's the second night when you start to feel strange and you're wondering if the range is on. Sending sparks to soar in the kitchen sky. An actual night. Is there no top to the dark up above the shelves. Where she stores the chai above the sleeping forms of vivid mind figurines of Western lonely types. They lie beneath a million running suns. They're rugged and they're done with the actual night. Well, kind of tired of playing. My fingers are kind of tired, I can feel it. I played a lot of guitar today. I think I'll just play something comfortable to play and put down the guitar. What's something comfortable to play? That's not that comfortable to play. Well, I guess I could play, say, oh, I don't really want to play anything particular. I think I want to play Chat Writes the Lyrics, okay? It's all a balance, exactly, it's all a balance. And if you look at how unbalanced LED light is, it's phenomenally unbalanced. Most lights suck, but natural fire is good. Play that song E-T-I-C, play E-T-I-C, that song about me. My name is Eric, yeah. Fire, fire, burning man, burning fire, higher sand, the big puppy jack up like the doorway to the rostrum. Hitting cats and raisins, meow, meow, meow. Eric's style of songs fits nice on the campfire vibe too. Just like firewood and stew with you. I wanna write a song that's easy to remember and very easy to play. I think I'll write this song like this one right here. You see, it's easy to remember and play. It's got a couple of changes every once in a while, but it's just designed in a simplistic style. Like that song there. It's a new song I just wrote. So is this a new song that I just wrote about how Boba Fett don't listen to my notes that I put on his saying that shit? And you see what the problem with that is. Fly Guy knows exactly what he's talking about, 'cause names stick like that rapey song. And Diamond wants big chips right now. And who can blame her? Baked chips or how America won the West. Who can blame her when baked chips are how America won the West? Nobody. And that was a wonderful song for you and for everyone. INFJ here. Do you still love her, my dear? I do love anyone who's got good taste. This is for there, huh? Yeah. INTJ, cool, cool. Isn't it kinda sad? How you gotta be bored, you must be when you don't have. What chord is supposed to go there? Anyway, you can. Obviously, at this point, I'm just fiddling around for no reason, but just feels pleasant, I guess. Gerald has a thought. Gerald has a lot. Gerald has a plot to get the margarines, tater tots. He's got a good idea for a name changing business. Thinking now about what to call Christmas when they hire his firm to change that name. When Gerald was up to be chanting now to return to the work let rough. He'd get back to it eventually. But a vision piled up and his plans would interrupt all the work that started off so hopefully. Now his mind is back on his business, thinking of changing factless to listless. So how all the people will shout his name. And Gerald knows he understands ever more clearly now. He won't provide explanation regarding the where or the how. He'll see you and know you from inside your heart. Exciting, delighting, Gerald plays his part. But Gerald still knew that too much to do, and he had dropped time in the underview. Too much to rebut, so where now and what? And too much time spent nitpicking the skew. With you, now Gerald has a thought. Gerald has a lot. Gerald has a plot to get the margarine's tasty spots. He's got a good idea for a changing business, thinking now about what to call Christmas when they hire his firm to change that name. Gerald has a thought. Well, we need to know. We need to see. We need a pen. Happenings down by a means to judge a logic to life we divisively unlike it, but which will rarely budge. People everywhere gather up enemies, outraged, that's how they miss a sign. How do they set their priorities? These foreign backstabbing entities, ensuing heartache and misery, fall unnecessarily from their savage way. Insulting, cursing, desiree, we're stuck with such petty larceny. We all partition our careers and call it destruction of the whole damn world. Judy shares now her limits, hoping Julie will too. Jerry shares for 4 minutes. We just can't share things like they do. And Julie always thought that she should have bought two when she had the chance to buy. And Julie soon forgot about should and not, although she ought recall she'll lie. People everywhere gather up enemies, outraged at how they miss a sign. How do they set their priorities? These foreign backstabbing entities, ensuing heartache and misery, fall necessarily from their savage ways. Insulting, cursing, desiree, we're stuck with such payless me. We all partition directly can call it the destruction of the whole damn world. Boom. Obviously, way too fast. Just trying to play things super fast for no reason. Just to be dumb. It's the only reason. Like this song. Playing super fast. I'm playing super fast. I'm playing super fast. The song is super fast. Gotta turbo fast. And I gotta sing so fast. And yeah, this song is super fast. I like to sing it cause it's super, super fast. So I gotta strum so fast, cause it's drumming fast at last. And I know that it won't be the best unless it's fast as fast. That's why this song is so fast. That's why that song is so fast. Have any of you watched The Last of Us? Do you think perhaps there could be a cast of us? If not, then what do you think you're watching then instead? Perhaps you're watching while your mother turns dead. Have you watched The Last of Us with a bunch of Skibidi Bombaclats? If not, then what did what? And can't you have a cast? It's a cultural thing sometimes. There's almost too much to focus on being proper in Eastern societies, whereas the West goes overboard in other ways. Yeah, Diamond, I feel you and your crazy ways. So says Sheriff Chris Chapman in all of his days. He knows that he was not an inconsiderate ass, but he still thinks that he has insufficient class. SPQRHMM question mark. HBQRNHMM question mark. At times, sometimes there's almost too much of a focus, but I also observe new kids from the different generation. I watched my friend play through the game. It was the most boring 15 minutes I ever did, friend. As something other than a torturous endurance challenge. But I endured it nevertheless, and I incurred a challenge. And so I'm going to end the stream right now. Even though I'm not really too disappointed with what I'm doing right now, because it's entertaining me. The new kids are extremely dumb because the lockdowns, Fly Guy says. Maybe it's because they're just not bright. Are you sure lockdowns are the reason? Why I keep it all night, says Cloverfit. Keep streaming, my man. You know why, because I like spam. Okay, well, maybe I will for a minute or two. Maybe I'll still keep streaming for a minute or two. Oh, I don't know. What does anybody know anyway, you know?
I think you're sweet and cute and fresh.
Thanks, darling. Likewise.
I love you.
I love you too. I've got a match, but she's got a lighter. I was one fun, but she had a fire. I was burnt, but she was much higher. I was fun, but she was the sky. Oh baby, I went down to Mexico. Oh baby, I went down to let you go. Oh. It's a cake song. I've been playing the guitar for such a long time now. Yep. There's that thing I do sometimes. For reasons undetermined. Alright. That's enough live stream. I don't even know what I'm going to do right now. Probably watch some cartoons. I should eat some foods. I can make food before I end the live stream. Well, you need to be smart enough to recognize that everyone is getting dumb. I mean, not only smart enough to recognize it, but you have to have been keeping track of the level of dumbness over time, which can be a bit of a challenge, you know. I mean, be smart enough to note the dumbness and smartness levels of people. But not conscientious enough to keep track. At which point you have to sing Isn't It Ironic by Alanis Morissette. It's the only way you'll ever catapult yourself and all of your Bombaclat compatriots to stardom. Delicious. All right, so thanks for shopping. It is a nice fridge. We don't have very new appliances here, but when they were new, they were all top notch and remain excellent appliances. I'm very pleased with the stove, the dishwasher, the refrigerator, the washer, the dryer, even the hot water heater. I mean, all the toilets and plumbing around here is impeccable. As I've mentioned before, unbelievably, in the whole time we've been here, I have not had to plunge a single toilet one time. Which, if you told me before, there will ever come a time in your life, Eric, when you will go over a whole year without plunging a toilet, I would have said, you are lying to yourself if you believe that, sir or madam. I'll be lucky if I can go a week without plunging a toilet. Unless maybe I leave to Watertown, USA, where you have infinite amount of water to flush with or something. But actually, I would have been wrong, because it turns out I do live someplace where I can flush with as much water as I need to, or for some other reason, the toilets just don't clog. Even the little ones don't clog. There's one big one and two little ones. There's a 2.5 bath. The big toilet is in the half bath. That's nice, Rachel and I each have our own bathroom, you know. Realistically, it's definitely, like, in some sense, more space than we need. Like, we've got rooms that we really don't use at all. But if I were better at, if we were better at being censors, I probably would use an upstairs room, like for a music room or whatever. Problem is, Rachel, you know, it can be challenging for me to find a good time to like plug in the amp and record if I want to use that. You cannot be serious. You cannot possibly be serious with me right now. I don't know who you think you're meowing at, but it cannot possibly be me. How long between owners for this house? I mean, I'm not. There wasn't any time between owners. We bought it from the previous owners. There was two owners before us. So the people who built this house and David lived here for a while. Then the other people bought it from them. Then we bought it from them. It was built in like 2000, 2001, 2002, something like that. But it was very intelligently designed at the time. You've got to be kidding me right now. Right, meow. You overloaded that with cat puns. It's amazing. You could not stuff more cat puns into one sentence. Yeah, he is a fat boy, and he wants me to go watch him eat some more. Ridiculously. Is that what you want? Yes? Or no? What do you want? Okay, well, let's go. You want me to watch you eat? Even though I've spent God knows how long watching you eat tonight? Can you really choke down even one more kernel of cat food? Cat food comes in kernels. You're not even hungry, dude. You're not hungry at all. You're just doing eating theater. You're just eating signaling, eat signaling, food chew signaling. I know. Is it ridiculous or what, Rachel? How much can this cat possibly eat? I mean, how many times have I watched him eat in full tonight? It's not like I just half-assed him and given him 5 seconds of watch time. I've sat here and pet him, complained about it. And here he goes again, just force feeding himself like a Christmas goose who's gonna be turned into pate. Do you think we're gonna make pate out of your liver? Is that why you're force feeding yourself so much trouble? We're not gonna do that, okay? Don't worry, we won't do that. You are absolutely ridiculous. If I pet you more, you just eat more. I mean, it's like this cat. It is just. Oh. Does he have some kind of eating disorder? I think he does. Trouble, I think you have an eating disorder. Oh. Do you want some water? All right. Can I leave the kitchen now? Am I done with my watching duties? Hopefully I am. Oh, this is so much nicer. Rachel, I am so glad you told me to do that. Thank you. This is just, it's like we can actually have the lights on in here now. It's crazy. Oh. Right. He doesn't want to be eating without a return on investment. Rachel says she's got him conditioned to the idea that she's going to be on her phone while he's eating, and he's reluctantly accepted that. But he knows he has me more. He's got my balls in his vice, you know, more than he's got Rachel's because she doesn't have balls. So. Well, he will shred you to pieces, Parker's Wax Museum. We call him the Lord of Love and Violence because he will turn from affectionate pet monger into, you know, vicious street cat in a heartbeat. He's got very long claws, very sharp claws, and a very short tolerance for you not reading his body language. This isn't beer. This is non-alcoholic beer. And the cat doesn't want beer. The last thing I need is to train the cat to require me to like hand deliver him his liquids, you know? It'd be very much what he would do. I had the genuine pleasure of sharing with my daughter Think About Things, that song by that band from 3 years ago. It's not new, but it's Delilah had never heard it before, and she said, yeah. What's his drug of choice? Control. He's toxic masculinity after it's gotten neutered. Okay. The N stands for non. So keep that in mind. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up now, and I'm going to watch some TV, maybe start assembling that video, etc. Tomorrow we got the Super Bowl. Maybe I'll drop that video Monday morning. Neutering has the opposite effect as advertised. It only stops baby making. Well, it did make him much more affectionate, but it didn't stop him from being also like a still feral cat kind of. Your cat has drank beer for 13 years. And he's the smartest, most productive cat you've ever met. So anyway, good night, everybody. I will see you tomorrow at some point. Maybe we'll do a bit of a pre-Super Bowl stream. Uh, anticipate me dropping that Caroline video on Monday since tomorrow's the Super Bowl. So, anyways, good night and have a wonderful sleeps.